Hello, good day. I'm Tahinio. Welcome. Welcome, Earth humans. Welcome to this transmission. Welcome to this transformation. For every time we connect in this way, there is a transformation occurring as your energy affects us and our energy affects you. It can create significant ripples in your time-space reality and enable you to shift to realities you prefer, enable us to shift to realities we prefer, where you are becoming more open to extraterrestrial contact, you are becoming more open to your interdimensional selves, and you are becoming more open to the idea of following your highest excitement to the best of your ability. And so this is the idea we would like to share with you initially. The idea that you all have a mission, you all have a calling, you all have a purpose, you all have a dream. And as some of you have mentioned in the call so far, the idea that you kind of felt out of place in this world, you kind of felt this world is a struggle, you kind of felt this world is difficult to operate in for yourselves. The idea is that you came here as kind of different beings. You came here with a kind of different frequency. You came here in a kind of higher frequency state, in a kind of theme, in a kind of operation mode of bringing a different experience to this reality, the idea of being yourselves. For the idea is that in your world, in your reality, in your earth plane existence for some time, the idea has been that you should all try and fit in. You should all try and be normal. You should all try and toe the party line. You should all try and operate in a certain way, in like what normal humans do, to create a normal civilization. But the idea is, this way of operating can really serve your world no longer. The idea is that doing things the way other people tell you things should be done is causing the collapse of your society. It's causing things to go awry. It's causing your reality to go haywire. And you are seeing this in the reality, an increase in living costs, the inability for some people to heat their houses, the costs are so extreme, the inability for your politicians to really solve any of the issues. The idea is that it kind of seems to be like a snowball running by itself, a steam train out of control that cannot be stopped. That, like, even though politicians are attempting to make changes for the better in your reality, they are really unable to do so. For the idea is that your reality has become so rigidized, so perplexed in a sense by what is going on, and so people are feeling so unable to make changes, that life is just how it is, that life just goes on, life is suffering, life is a struggle, life is hard, no pain, no gain, these kind of ideas. The idea is that your society is beginning to crumble, your society is beginning to fall apart. And this is all well and good, because this was expected from our perspective. This has been expected for some time by the Galactic Federation as they observe your world, as some people have termed the alliance of beings that we are part of. The idea is that you're going through a shift of consciousness, and really the only way to make the shift, to make the jump into a new reality, because so many beings in your reality, including yourselves to some degrees, are so kind of rigidized into the old ways of being that you are really unable to unlock this yourselves. And so you've created from a higher perspective, you're created from your higher selves, from a soul level, from a spirit conscious, and even from a God conscious, source consciousness level, the idea of socio-economic collapse, the idea of political collapse, the idea of religious collapse, the idea of monetary collapse, the idea of social collapse in general, so that you can begin to force yourselves to look to other ways to create a better reality for yourselves. And so those of you that have felt different, those of you who have felt out of place, those of you who have felt a kind of struggle in your reality, we can say congratulations, things are about to get better, because for your time has come, or the time has come for you to step to the fore, to step up to the plate, to step up to the mantle, and begin to share your perspective of how you feel you may be able to create a better reality for all beings in your world. But the idea is that, as we have been saying for some time, and as many beings have been saying for some time, but you can forget as you get lost in your day-to-day rhetoric, your day-to-day modalities, there is a shift occurring. There is a transformation of consciousness. There is an ascension into fifth dimensional, fourth density reality, as we may term it. And the idea is that those of you that have felt out of place in your world, those of you that have felt out of place in your reality, can use this opportunity at this time to begin to operate in a new way, to begin to share your gifts, to begin to share your talents, and begin to speak up and say, hey, wait there, I've been here all this time. I felt kind of out of place, and now I know why. Now I understand why. It's because I was here to show you guys that there's actually another way of doing things. I don't want to sound all big-headed and egotistical, but I've had this feeling for some time that there's actually something wrong with this reality. There's actually something wrong with this world. And if we don't change it, it can begin to go haywire. It can begin to go downhill. And so now you guys are beginning to see this with the pollution in your seas, the destruction of your rainforest, the lowering of air quality, the lowering of physical health over recent times, and the inability for people to find happiness and joy in their lives. These are signs that there is something badly wrong with our world. And perhaps it's the way we're doing things. Perhaps the way we've been operating as a collective civilization for so long is actually no longer beneficial to us. And it's time for us to make some changes. It's time for us to step up. It's time for us to begin to tune into our hearts and this innate intuitive knowledge we have in ourselves that there is another way of doing things, perhaps with more love, perhaps with more compassion, perhaps with more cooperation, perhaps using the idea of co-creation, actually working together rather than this kind of segregated competitive environments where it's survival of the fittest and whoever does the best survives the best. Perhaps we could all begin to try and work together and create something together and see if that works better. I don't know. I had this strange feeling, this feeling in my heart, this feeling welling up inside of me that life will be radically easier if we actually work together and stop fighting. So I don't know, perhaps just bear this in mind, guys, that if things begin to get worse, that we have these ideas that not just me, that many of us are coming to, that perhaps we can do things in a different way. Perhaps we can operate from love. Perhaps we can operate from joy. Perhaps we can just go back to having fun again. And maybe when we're actually having fun, we can begin to create something from that fun that can assist reality. I don't know why I'm feeling this. It's just welling up within me. It's just an idea, just an inkling, guys. So I just wanted to share this with you. So the idea is many of you will begin to feel this way, and the reason that many of you will begin to feel this way is because these are the answers. Operating from joy, operating from love, operating from compassion. You're actually beginning to tune into the frequencies, the vibrations of your higher self, your higher mind, source consciousness, and actually, in a sense, the fabric of creation. And there is a wisdom channeling through you. There is a vibration creating for you. And much in the way that people in your planet say, when I talk to my plants, they seem to grow better. When I send my plants love, they seem to grow better. The idea is that love is the creational frequency of creation. Love is actually the vibration that actually created all of creation. It is what some people have called the feminine energy, the feminine impetus. And it is actually the birthing, the seeding, the love, the compassion is the seeding of creation. And this is why when you have a newborn child, you naturally feel a lot of love, a lot of compassion towards it, because you know, because there is a very innate part of you that knows this is the way that will nurture the child, nurture the baby to grow into a healthy human being. Unfortunately, as the child begins to grow up and interact with your civilization and pick up habits from civilization, it can begin to create friction between the parents and the child that can begin to see the love vibration diminish and can begin to see the well-being of the family diminish as a whole. That is beginning to come to an end. For the idea is the love frequency is returning to your reality. There are many beings that have for many thousands of years, and particularly many hundreds of years, and particularly the last decade or two, begin to come to recognize that love is actually a vibrational frequency that can assist your civilization into growth, can assist your civilization into harmony, can assist your civilization into rebirth, like the phoenix rising out the ashes. Much like our ships rose in the Phoenix state in 1997, to remind you that Phoenix is the place of rebirth. Phoenix is the state of rebirth, and as the ashes form in your world, so will the love and light burn and ignite and light once more. And this is what we are seeing occurring. And so We suggest that those of you that feel the inkling in your hearts to begin to connect to a higher vibrational reality, those that see an inkling in your heart to begin to bring this message to the world, begin to do so. Begin to trust in this. Begin to trust more in your own instincts and less in what you are told by your civilization. For those beings that have told people what to do for so long are actually somewhat responsible for the current disintegration of life as we know it on your planet, which of course isn't disintegrating at all. It's just transforming in a new reality. So remember who you are. Remember why you came here. Remember this is your time. And remember that the ability to access the channeling state is actually the ability to access your heart's consciousness, and is actually the ability to access the wisdom of entirety of creation, not just for the idea of connecting to extraterrestrials, connecting to interdimensional beings, angels, nature spirits, fairies, higher self, your own soul, your own interdimensional self, but it is the ability to tap into wisdom that can actually serve your planet. When you are able to access the channeling state more and more, when you are able to access the flow state more and more and activate the gamma wave frequencies more and more within your consciousness, within your brain, you will more and more tune yourself to the new reality, the new way of operating, which we might call fourth density reality, we may call fifth dimensional reality. This is the idea of what many people have termed fourth density or the fifth dimension. It is the idea of becoming more heart-centered, becoming more a natural channel, becoming more operating from joy, from bliss, from compassion, and accessing the love light vibration, the flow state, and the gamma wave frequencies within your brain, which we will talk about more in the future, that will enable you to access this new consciousness. This is the beginning of the birthing of the fifth dimension. This is the beginning of the birthing of the fourth density reality. It is beginning to understand how to access these channeling frequencies, these channeling vibrations, and they will enable you to receive what some people call downloads, what we may term intuitive impulses, what we may term heart-based consciousness, to receive wisdom that can actually give to your reality information that can help other beings, ideas that can inspire yourself to move in certain directions, vibrations that can create an uplifting energy around you that can naturally inspire other beings to access this wisdom, to enter into a new operating mode of consciousness and bring through the wisdom that can take your reality into a love light based fifth dimensional fourth density reality of bliss and well-being for all beings evermore. Amen. Shiva. We love you all, Earth humans. Shiva.